our new concept, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. We're going to be talking about verbs. Does anybody know what a verb is? Does anybody know what's a verb? You've heard of nouns before. I'm sure you've heard of verbs, adjectives, right? Does anybody remember what a verb is? Yes, good job. It's when you're doing something. It's action. A verb is an action word. You have to actually be doing it in order for it to be a verb, right? So jump is a verb, right? Why would jump be a verb? You actually have to do it, right? If I'm going to jump rope, I have to actually move my feet up and down. What about yell? Why would yell be a verb? Because I'm doing something as well. Good job. Let's go ahead and take a look. So when you're adding ed, we learned yesterday that the ed says ed, right? But sometimes it does not say ed. I want you to listen. I jump, I jumped. Sometimes the ed can say the t sound. So in this word, when I read it, I say I jumped. I jumped. Do I say I jumped ed? No. No. Yesterday we learned that the ed could say ed, but in this word it doesn't say ed. It says the t sound. Jumped. Look at this one. I yell or I yelled. What is the ed saying in this one? It's saying d, right? It's not saying ed, is it? I yelled. Does that make sense? I yell it? No. So sometimes we've learned already that the ed can say ed, which is what we learned yesterday. Sometimes it can say t, and sometimes it can say d. Okay? So let's go ahead and take a look. So, just like I mentioned already, we have the d sound, like in dog. We have the t sound, like in tiger. We have the ed, right? Like which is what we learned yesterday, ed. These are all the different ways we can say the past tense d sound, okay? So, look at this one. This one is the d. Watch. Called. Called. Right? Let's try this one. Tamed. What's the word? Tamed. So we know that sometimes the d at the end of the word says d like in dog. Okay? Now this one says t like in tiger. So watch when I read this one. I say sniffed. Say it with me. Sniffed. Do I say sniffed? No. This one says t like in tiger. Let's do it again. Sniffed. Sniffed. What about this one? Do I say helped? No. How would I say this one? Helped, right? So that one makes the t sound like in tiger. Okay? Next one. Yesterday we learned that the E and the D make two sounds, ed, right? So here we say land, ed. Can you say that with me? Land, ed. What would we say for this one? Handed. Excellent reading. Let's do it again. Handed. And what would we say for this one? Yes, go for it. Read this word for me. Natalie? Excellent job. Shifted. So when I read this word, I don't say shift, or I don't say shift. I say shift ed, right? Because this is the ed, right? The ed. Okay. So we're going to go on. We're going to look. Here are the spelling patterns now. So if I said, give me all the spelling patterns for d. Now you can write a D like in dog, regular D, or you can write ED, right? If I said, give me all the spelling patterns that say T, you could write a T, like for tiger, but you can also write a ED. So instead of writing together, instead of what I'm going to do is I have some words. We're going to put them under the correct pronunciation of the D, okay? So who can help me read this word? What is this word, Emma? Yelled. Which one of these do you think we're going to put it under? Oh, so you want to say yelded? No. We would put it right here because it just says d, right? Watch this. Yelled, yelled. Okay, let's try this one. Who can read this word? Yes, Natalie? Twisted. Which one of these would you put for the ending sound, Ed? Twisted. In the ED, good job. Okay, who can read this one? Who can read this one? Yes. Painted? No, because I don't even see an A in this word. I see an R blend. Yes, Emma? Printed. Where would I put this one? ED, print ed, right? So I'm going to put this one right here. What about this one? What does this one say? Is fixed it a word? No. How would we say it? Fixed. Which one would we put it under? Fixed. Yes. We would put this one under the T because when we say it, we don't say fixed. We don't say fix it. We say fixed. Fixed. Okay? What about this one? What does this one say? Natalie? Pulled, right? Pulled. Where would we put this one? Where would we put this one, Alina? Under the D. Pulled, right? What about this one? Emma? Acted. He acted very funny, right? Acted. Which one do you think we would put this one under? Act. Act. Is that the word? No. Where else, Emma? ED. Act ed, right? All right, let's look at this one. How do you think we would say this one? What do you think, Natalie? Do we say he pinched me? Does that sound right? If I say he pinched me. No, so I know it's not going to be this one. What do you think, Raquel? So which one do you think it's going to be? He pinched. Yes, it's the T. Listen, he pinched me, right? Pinched. Okay, what about this one? Think about which one is going to go under. What do you think, Alina? It's called, right? So which one do you think we should put this one under? Under the D. Good job. Called. I'm not saying called, or I'm not saying called. Am I? No. Okay, last one. Want to see more hands go up. What do you think? Natalie? Bumped. Do we say bump it? I bumped it into the table? No, right? We don't say bump it. Do we say bumped? I bumped the table? No. But just like Natalie said, we say I bumped the table. Okay? So, just a reminder, there's 3 ways to pronounce the ED ending. We can say the D, we can say the T, or ed. Okay? All right. So Ms. Campos has our words. Who can help me read that word? Think about it. When you read it, you might want to say it each way to see which one makes more sense. How would I read this word? Yes. Yell. The base word is yell, right? But when you add ed, it says yelled. This one, right? And this is a verb because it's action. What does this one say? What do you think? Do we say smash it? Smashed. Which one do you think we're going to use for smashed? The D by itself. I smashed the ant, right? Smash. What about this one? How would we say that one? Raquel? Rested. Which one do you think we would put it under? The ED, right? We're not just saying rest, or we're not saying rest, or we're not, but we are saying rested, right? Excellent job. All right, I'm gonna give you guys your paper. I want you to please grab your pencil. I'll get you one. Please write your name and today's date. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're first gonna underline the base word, okay? Then we're going to circle the ending and we're gonna either put a D over it, a T over it, or an ED, depending on what the word says, okay? So let me give you an example. The first word, the base word is fill. So everybody underline fill. I know that it's going to be a past tense word because there's an ED ending. So I'm gonna circle it. But I'm gonna try to figure out which one is it. Am I saying yesterday I filled the water container? Yesterday I filled the water container, or yesterday I filled it the water container. Which one do you think I would say? Yes. I filled it the water container? The D. Yesterday I filled the water container. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a D over it to help me remember this one is the D sound, okay? Now, when I write these lines, these little slant lines like this, that means sound. So when I read it, I say filled. That's the sound, okay? Okay, next one. Now that we did it together, who can tell me which one is the base word? What's the root word? Yes. Call, underline it. Call is action, right? Because if your mom is going to call you, Emma, and she has to do something, it's action. Circle, past tense, it already happened. But now we gotta figure out, how do we pronounce it? How do we pronounce it? Do we say called, cult, called it? Which one do we say? Anybody? Yes. I called in my mom? Which one? D. I called my mom. So I'm going to go ahead and put my D over the ED. So now I know when I say this word, I say filled, called. Okay? What's the base word for this one? Yes. And. I'm going to circle my past tense. How would I say this word? Alina? And did, right? The ED. So I'm going to put my sound and put ED. And did. Okay, who can tell me what's the base word for this word right here? Emma? Ask. Past tense. Now I have to figure out which one is it going to be. Anybody want to ask? I want to share? Yes. It's the T. I asked, right? So I'm going to put my sound and it's asked. What about the next one? What would I say is the base word for that, the root word? Last. Last. Circle your ending, ED. What would I say for that one? Yes. So which one would it be? It would be the sound ed, right? So I'm going to put my ed, lasted. Okay, what's the base word for the next one? Yes. Crash. Definitely a verb, right? It's action. Circle the ED. And how would we say it? It already happened. It's past tense. I crashed, right? Or I crashed. Which one do you think it is? It's the T. So I'm going to go ahead and put my T. I crashed yesterday. That's not good. Hey, can you guys do me a favor and do the last two on your own? And I'm going to call somebody to come up, underline the base word, circle the ending, and then you're going to write which sound it is, okay? Who would like to do this one? Come on up. Underline the base word. Circle the ending, past tense. And which one do you think it would be? Excellent. We put the yeah. Who wants to try the last one? Okay, Jayla Rose, go ahead. Hand is your base word. ED makes it past tense. And which one do you think it is? Okay, so now you said I handed to do. Is that correct? I handed. No. What would we have to do to fix this one? Anybody want to come up and try it? Go ahead. What would we say for that one? Yes. How would you say that word? Handed. I handed. Say, I handed Miss Campos the pen. Yep, she handed me the pen. Does everybody understand what you're going to do? Okay, so tonight for homework, I want you to look.